Batman the Brave and the Bold, yet another fresh Batman story set in yet another fresh new DC universe, could do something for the character that has yet to be seen in live action. The movie will be directed by Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash, a movie that was overhyped and while not that bad, didn't or couldn't live up to expectations. The Batman sequences in the movie were okay. Both Batman moved agile enough, definitely in that Arkham category, but something wasn't right. They felt fake, as does some of the other visual effects in the movie, which I think, or hope, was a byproduct of the usual messy production and studio mismanagement from a DCEU film, and not a deliberate creative choice like their director was saying. Who am I kidding? Of course it wasn't, but you can't blame me for being skeptical. Now, back to the point. This movie could do something unexpected for a Batman film, but also completely expected if you're a comic book fan of Batman, and it's all because of one man, James Gunn. Well, two if you count Peter Safran, and more if you account for the staff, but regardless, James is the creative lead and he's the one who presented this new universe and will direct the first film in it. When James presented this new universe and announced the new movies that would be a part of it, he included pictures alongside each installment, most likely comics that are the source of inspiration behind these projects. For Batman the Brave and the Bold, this picture was chosen. It's this comic written by Grant Morrison. Now, I myself haven't read it, nor have I read many comics in general that have been shown here. This might discredit what I'm about to say, but please bear with me. I promise it'll all make sense. Now, my exposure to Batman was the animations and the video games, specifically the Batman from 2004 and the Batman Arkham series, also Lego Batman. I think I did watch the Keaton movies on TV as a kid, but because we didn't own them, rewatches weren't as readily available. So for me, Batman was always moved with the finesse and inhuman ability, which made sense, as that's what you can do with animation and video games. When I watched the Bale movies, I always criticized Batman's stiff movement style. After many years, I've learned to appreciate the trilogy for what it was, and I matured, but the point remains that Bale doesn't move as inhumanely as other Batmen. This is one of my favorite aspects of the character, that alongside keeping Batman's more fantastical or zany parts, with not only him, but Gotham intact. Of course, there needs to be a balance, otherwise you end up with Schumacher, even though I kinda liked Batman Forever, and Kilmer's voice sounds a lot like Conroy's.
I see without seeing. To me, darkness is as clear as daylight. What am I?
After the slate announcement, I looked into the comic by Grant Morrison, more specifically Grant Morrison himself. I watched this video that broke down the way Morrison was able to take Batman's entire comic history and connect it all in a complex and respective way. This fascinated me as I then sought out this video of Grant's interpretation of Batman, and you can clearly see the love and respect he has for this character.
The best way to do Batman that's never been done is to accept every single era as one guy's biography. All of this is me, you know, the camp, everything. Once I was funny, once I was sexy, once I was weird, now I'm this, I'm all of them. And that was what we started with. And I think it was just, that was my new take on it that I wanted to, that no one I thought had done.
I will say that the one live action Batman adaptation that has managed to give me what I want, as a Batman fan, was the TV show Gotham. This show wasn't afraid of being a little zany and it paid off, most of the time. TV, animation, games seem to have more freedom with their adaptations, which is probably why we get the best versions of these characters through these mediums. But I'm hoping Brave and the Bold can set a standard, and James Gunn using this comic written by this man as inspiration for the movie tells me what I need to know. Of course, seeing James' love for comic books, DC actually having their own studio, and a fresh new universe unshackled by the poor foundation that doomed the previous one definitely help. Now, I talked about how Morrison was inspired by the entire history of Batman and not just one part. which as of the time of making this video is kinda hurtful, as Jay Oliver, a storyboard artist for the DCEU and the director of some of the best DC animated movies, talked about how Ben Affleck's Batman movie would have done something in that vein. Here's what he had to say. I can't really say too much other than it was effing awesome. It was the best. It was amazing. I've worked on a lot of Batman things, and what was really cool about it was tying together a lot of really cool Batman storylines that had never been really explored. Ben's story was going to cover something that had never really been covered in comics, but was building off of storylines in the Batman mythos over the last 80 years and approaching it from a new kind of perspective. It was very clever, and there were a lot of things about it that I really loved that I wish that had come to fruition. It was a really great project in the beginning. Ben had to step away for personal reasons, and I totally understood, but the time that I spent with Ben working on the project was fantastic. Maybe someday I can spill the beans, but I still can't talk about it. This is the kind of movie that I was anticipating Matt Reeves' The Batman to be. Ultimately, it wasn't that for me. I would have loved to have seen Affleck's solo movie. It seems like everything I would ever want from a solo Batman movie. The storyboards were amazing, and everything that Jay Oliver says just cements that. It's unfortunate we never really saw Ben's Batman shine like he should have. In BVS, he's a little hangry. In Justice League, he's out of his league. And in The Flash, he's in broad daylight with a bad suit to boot. The only time we saw the potential of Ben's Batman was in that glorious warehouse fight. Imagine that before a solo movie. Maybe Brave and the Bold can run where that movie walked. Now I will finally get to why I made this video. I told you what potential this has as a footprint in Batman's legacy, but what could this movie do for Batman himself? I think, and get ready for this, that this could give us the best Batman yet. Or at least the most rounded version of the character. See, each Batman that has come before has captured one aspect of the character. It's what sets them apart and makes them unique. Also because each new installment has a different soul, breathing life into their portrayal. Keaton captures the strangeness of the character, accentuated in The Flash, Bale his spirit, Affleck his ferocity or physicality, West his intellect, and Pattinson his detective skills. For Kilmer and Clooney, I'm not sure. Maybe Kilmer the responsibility of having a boy wonder, and Clooney the goofiness of the early comics of the era. See, this new Batman would have all of these qualities. Andy Muschietti is directing the movie, and he's already had experience with 2.5 Batmen, plus with seemingly Morrison's comic inspiration, Robin being in the movie after so many years of being neglected, and Gunn overlooking, I can't see how this movie won't do something right. Which, speaking about Robin, I watched this video that explained why directors are so afraid to use him in their adaptations.
And then he meets this kid when he's late 21, and the kid's this super, this little working class circus kid who's totally cocky, and this introverted young Norman Bates Batman is suddenly, wait a minute, this is the kid that died in me. And it's suddenly, this is everything I wanted to be, and the two become friends, and it's no creepy, it's no weird, it's like my best friend, he's my brother, he's everything I wish I could be, and the kid's looking at him going, he's everything I wish I could be.
I love Robin. I think he's cool and brings heart and a tragic, whimsical nature to Batman's story. I'll admit, he can be annoying sometimes like in the DCAU, but I thought he was really cool in Teen Titans. Robin just seems like a character that can only function working by himself, or at least not under Batman. It's almost like being Robin is a rite of passage, or superhero training wheels to get you ready to become your own hero. Now Damian, I don't know a lot about him. I've only seen him in Son of Batman and Injustice 2. I agree with the complaints that he's a little brat, but I like that the Robins are diverse enough in the personalities like the TMNT. So I don't mind him. It's going to be interesting to see everyone's reaction to Robin not only coming back to the big screen, but he's got a sword, an attitude, and he's the biological son of Batman. Well, that's all I had to say on that. I think Brave and the Bold has the potential to be my favorite Batman movie, an expectation the Batman didn't live up to. And if not, then I'll just keep hoping like the bat fool I am. But one day they'll get it right. One day. Thank you for watching. This has been Injustice Josh. I got other videos coming up like the BTAS video covering every episode. And I just finished Static Shock, so maybe I'll make a video on that. I'll just say it was a lot better than I thought it would be. Anyways, have a good day.